Class 8 CBSE. Welcome to the Wisdom 360 live session. Today we'll be taking the first chapter, that is crop production and management. The questions and answers. In this chapter, we have learnt about the agricultural practices, in which the questions may come like define a crop. And you know that what is a crop? Answer will be when plants of the same kind are cultivated or grown on a large scale. It is called a crop. Question for this article, that is 1.1. Second question will be, what are the favorable climatic conditions required for the growth of crops? In this, you know that there are many conditions like temperature, humidity, rainfall are required for the growth of crop, and they vary from one region to another in the country like India. Along with this, two questions and few more based upon the topic agricultural practices are: name a practice that can provide food to a large number of people in our country. The answer to this question is agricultural practices. Question number 4. A set of tasks which a farmer performs in order to grow crops is called as. The answer will be agricultural practices. Question 5. Based upon seasons, what are the types of crops grown in India? So you know that the crops are identified on the basis of cropping patterns depending upon the season are Kharif crops. These are known as the rainy crops, and Rabi crops, which are called as the winter crops. Those crops which are grown in the rainy season, especially from June to September, are considered as Kharif crops, and the winter crops are grown from October to March. Example for rainy crops is paddy, means rice, and opposite to that is the wheat, grown in the winter season. Besides them, there is another crop, season crop, that is called as the summer crop, that is called as ZAID. ZAD. ZAD means summer crops. In this season, many pulses and vegetables are grown. And now for Article 1.2, These were the questions for Article 1.1, that is the agricultural practices. Now we will be taking Article 1.2, that is the basic practices of crop production. We will be going from the simple to complex questions after solving each type. For 1.2, that is the basic practices of crop production. For this article, there can be many questions which are based upon the Article 1.1, like why paddy cannot be seen or grown in winter season. The answer would be paddy, that is rice, requires a lot of water which cannot be available during winters, and paddy is grown in the rainy season so as to avail plenty of water along with the suitable temperature that is high temperature. Which is not during winters. This is a very important question and has to be written like this. Paddy requires a lot of water which cannot be available during winters, and it is grown in the rainy season so as to avail plenty of water along with the suitable temperature, and the suitable temperature for paddy is high temperature, which is not during the winters. So you can conclude that the rainy crops require rainfall, humidity, high temperature, and sunlight. Now the question for the agricultural practices, Article 1.2 further goes like, What are the steps involved in the practice for growing crops? So, you know that there are several steps. Step number 1, that is preparation of soil. Second, selection and sowing of seeds. Third, adding manure and fertilizers. Fourth, irrigation. Fifth, after irrigation, when the crops are growing, along with them, the unwanted and uncultivated plants grow, which needs to be prevented. So, protection from weeds. Next, when the crop is matured, it needs to be harvested. After harvesting, the crops need to be dried under the sunlight and the storage is being done. Sometimes the first step, that is preparation of soil, includes the addition of manure and fertilizers. If the field is very low in fertility, the second step, selection and sowing of seeds, requires the good quality and good quantity of seeds which needs to be sown in the field. The irrigation is very important so as to avail water for the field and the growth of crops. The fifth step needs weedicides to protect the crop from weeds. Harvesting includes threshing, winnowing, storage. The grains are dried under the sunlight before being stored. Why the grains need to be dried under the sun before storage? So as to remove the moisture which could lead to the growth of microbes that may affect the growth of the quality of the crop. All these 7 steps are included under the agricultural practices. Now the next question. What is tiling and plowing? The process of loosening and turning the soil by using a plow is called tiling or plowing. This is an important step in the preparation of soil as it is necessary to remove big clumps present in the field before the crops are being sown or the seeds are being sown. Tilling and plowing brings up the fertile or nutrient rich soil for providing its benefits to the plant. And the soil is moistened before sowing. For this purpose, there are certain agricultural implements used like the plow, hoe, and the cultivator. Amongst which hoe is a simple tool for removing weeds and for loosening the soil. Plow is used since ancient times for tiling the soil or adding fertilizers to the crop, and also for removing the weeds and turning the soil. Cultivator is nowadays an implement used for modern cultivating fields as it saves time and labor. It is driven by a tractor. So 1.1, 1.2 and 1.3 article are covered till now. Next, 1.4 is the step of sowing. Sowing is an important part of crop production, and the question might come like, why there is a need of selecting good quality and clean and healthy seeds before sowing. The answer will be, before sowing, good quality, clean and healthy seeds of a good variety are selected by the farmer to give high yielding variety of plant, or in other words you can say high yield crop variety. The seeds are selected on the basis of their quality, strength and durability, along with the nutrient specified for the particular crop which is being grown in the field. For this, traditional tools like funnel were used, and seed drill is a modern method or modern tool for sowing of seed, which helps to sow the seeds at proper distance and proper depth. The proper distance and proper depth avoid overcrowding of plants and also protect the seeds from birds and other animals. The seed drill saves time and labor and provide appropriate distance between the seeds, and also provide proper or sufficient sunlight, nutrients and water from the soil. For 1.5 article, that is adding manure and fertilizers, question will be like, what are manures, how they add fertility to the soil without any harm. So, manures are the substances which are added to the soil in the form of nutrients for healthy growth of plants, and the manures are organic, that is the natural products obtained from the decomposition of plant or animal wastes. They add fertility to the soil without any harm because of absence of any inorganic or man-made substance in it. The manures are natural and they do not harm the soil and increases the fertility by adding humus. Humus we have studied, it is the dark colored organic matter or the topmost fertile layer of the soil. That adds organic content to the surface layer of the earth, that is the soil. There are different kinds of manure. First is farmyard. Second, green manure, which is formed only from the green leaves. Farmyard means the animals which are working on the farm and the farm plant waste. Third is compost, which is done by grabbing a pit, forming a pit and putting all the organic waste in it. And the fourth one is the worming compost, which is formed by the action of worms like earthworm onto the decomposition of the organic material. These are the examples of manure which may be added for the increasing of fertility, increase in fertility. Along with this, the manures are having few disadvantages. Disadvantage for the manure: they are required in bulk. As they are having low content of nutrients, they needs to be added in much quantity. They result in low rate of growth of plants or crops. Low rate means slow result. On comparing with the manures and the fertilizers, manure requires a lot of quantity in the field, and they are not specific in nutrient properties. Not specific in nutrient property means they are not having any particular nutrient which may be required by the crop in the field, which is deficient in some of the particular nutrient. If the field is requiring nutrient like nitrogen and the manure is containing a lot more than nitrogen, that won't be resulting in fast or quick crop production. The manures are having advantages like they improve the texture of the soil, enhances the water holding capacity, of the soil, water holding capacity means the ability of the soil to absorb or contain water in it. Makes the soil porous, porous means the soil is having more density and spaces between them, between the soil particles, due to which exchange of gases becomes easy. Soil porous, and you can say exchange of gases is easy. And also the manures add friendly microbes. In the soil. After this article, that is 1.5, adding manure and fertilizers, we have discussed about the advantage and disadvantages of manure, and you know that fertilizers are inorganic, man-made, prepared in the factories. We will be taking this topic in our next class, that is about the manures, comparing with them the fertilizers. So that's all for today. We will be taking another questionnaire in the next class. Till then, you stay fit